But the time for preparation is past. The crisis is now upon us all.
Holy crimson skies of death! And here we go.
It's the comic book bullies.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
It's the comic book bullies.
You will bow down before me!
It's the comic book bullies.
Now I am the master.
It's the comic book bullies. It's the comic book bullies. Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies. We're Nerd is the New Bully. I'm your host, Leroy, a.k.a. your favorite podcaster's least favorite podcaster, with my co-host.
This is Eli, a.k.a. Doo-Doo Higgins.
Okay. Please tell me that's not a porn name.
It should be.
It should not be. Yeah, and we're back with another episode, and we're recording this late, and a bunch of shit happened. Matter of fact, we're going to talk about some shit that's going to feel like it's like 100 years old, but it really only like 4 days old. But like in internet
Probably.
world, it's like forever, dog years.
Yeah. We got such
so like-
small attention spans.
Yeah, so we actually got a lot to cover. So yeah, we're gonna pull in overtime on this episode. Eli, don't worry, you're getting overtime, so you're gonna get a time and a half on what you're getting paid now. So
Sweet.
woohoo. 0. All right. So Eli, I know you got something you want to talk about, something because we had Celebrity Death 2 happen this week, and we just kind of want to briefly address it. So yeah, I'm gonna let you go first, and after that, I'm gonna talk about something.
Okay. Carroll Spinney passed away.
Oh,
Now, I guess he was the puppeteer for Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch on Sesame Street.
Oh, damn. Okay.
So, I think it's safe to say, I mean, I don't know. I'm a Gen X or am I a boomer? I don't know. I'm old.
Well, okay. I mean,
But
we might need to talk about that
like
because there are new classifications going out right now.
yeah.
So there's a class between Gen X and millennials.
Yeah.
Because basically, like, we're Gen Xers that know how to use social media, so it's gonna put us in a different class. Yeah, but back to the celebrity death.
But I'd like to think that, I mean, I grew up with Sesame Street. I would like to, even my kid, remember, was into Elmo, and he's a millennial.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to think that most of us probably grew up with Sesame Street, at least in this country.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we all know who Big Bird is and who Oscar the Grouch is and who all that whole Sesame Street cast is. So I think this might hit home for a lot of us. So he passed away. He was in his 80s. But I guess what I was telling you about, I actually auditioned for Sesame Street when I was a little kid.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, when I was living in New York, my mom worked for the American Indian Community House in Manhattan, and they would take the hood kids, underprivileged kids to events and stuff like that, and they took a bunch of us to go audition for Sesame Street.
Oh,
So
nice.
I actually went to the soundstage, I remember we all went there, and I remember being very excited because I know what Sesame Street was.
Mm-hmm.
And, hey, so I'm sure when they asked, hey, who wants to go to Sesame Street? We're all like, fuck yeah, let's go. So I remember going there. I remember going into a building. I remember taking a fucking elevator up to whatever floor. Then
Nice.
the
This is all
elevator,
like the PBS studio or whatever.
yeah, and the elevator opened, and there was the set of Sesame Street inside and upstairs a building.
Did you see like Elmo to the side smoking a cigarette or something like that offset?
I saw them filming a scene with Oscar the Grouch, the Cookie Monster, and they were doing The Shape or whatever, and the actors that were on the set at the time. I saw them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I seen the Big Bird guy without the Big Bird outfit. He was just walking around in his Big Bird legs. He didn't have the body on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that would fuck you up as a kid.
And I think it did. Because my sister and my mom tell this story, said after that, like when we left, that they said I felt sick, that my head hurted. And when they asked what was wrong, I told them that Big Bird pecked me in the head. Like, like Woody Woodpecker.
I mean, but he didn't, did he?
He did. I don't think he did, but I think it probably did fuck me up. Because
maybe he did. You blacked it out or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because I was little. I was like 4 or 5. I mean, I remember going there and I remember seeing all the shit, but I don't remember how I felt.
Yeah.
But it probably was like that episode of Family Guy where Stewie goes to that TV show that he likes and he finds, it's all fake and shit, and he starts freaking out. I wonder if that's what happened. Because I seen Big Bird with the dude's legs. He was just wearing those legs. So it probably did like freak me out and like, this world is bullshit.
Nothing is real.
Nothing's real.
Then next year they told you Santa Claus wasn't real. Then yeah.
Yeah, like my world was shattered.
Right.
The day my childhood ended was the day I went
Big
to
Bird
Sesame
killed your
Street.
childhood.
Yeah. But I mean, obviously I didn't get the part. Like I don't even remember like auditioning.
But
or
that's
whatever
probably why you
did.
didn't get the part. You ran out of there saying Big Bird.
Like, what the fuck is this shit?
Right. Like psychologically scarred you and shit. Yeah, y'all probably wouldn't hire you either.
Yeah, so who knows? Like that could have been that could have been my big break.
You could have been movie star Eli right now. Trying to get your
I
autograph and send some bodyguards after me or some shit.
That could have been me as Aquaman.
You could be Jason Momoa. That's what I'm saying.
Or the porn star. What did I say my name was?
Oh, the porn parody
Doo-Doo
of
Brown? Doo-Doo Higgins?
Doo-Doo Higgins. Starting the porn parody of Aquaman.
Yeah. So rest in peace to Spinney or whatever that guy's name was. Sorry. Carroll Spinney.
Yes.
Spinney. The guy, Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch.
Yes, the guy that fucked up Eli's childhood. Yeah. Oh, man. That being said, now, like I said, since you had one celebrity death, there's another celebrity death I want to talk about. But Eli, this is probably going to be the most interesting celebrity death we've ever had on this show. And the reason it's weird because I just heard about this guy like a few days ago. Even though he's a celebrity. Okay. So, have you ever heard of a rapper named Juice Wrld?
No. Is this what you were telling me about?
This is what I was telling you about. Okay, let me tell you about exactly.
I thought you were talking about a restaurant or something.
Yeah, I wish. Juice Wrld would be a nice restaurant. I mean, what do you think they would serve there? Like
a juice bar. Like when you said Juice Wrld, I thought of like Jamba Juice or something.
I don't want Jamba Juice. I want something like Kiwi or something like that. Kiwi with a splash of. Anyway, back to Juice Wrld. Okay, so 21-year-old rapper. He passed. Guess how he died, Eli?
I don't know.
Well,
I hope he wasn't shot.
Wasn't shot. So that means what else?
Okay.
Probably drugs.
Drugs, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So here's what happened. So he was in an airport like that. It's all allegedly. There's still no autopsy and things like that. Apparently, he was caught by the police, and they were raiding him because they thought he had drugs on him. So what they did, they said he had 7 Percocets on him at the time. So to get them away from the police, he took them all at the same time. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, had a seizure. Boom, that's it. So here's my thing. This is the reason I want to talk about that. Because, like I said, I've actually never heard of I've heard of his name before, but I never heard of his music before. But the reason I've heard of his music before, because something about his music just rubs me the wrong way. And it's because he's he's like this new wave of like drug rappers coming out right now. Now, what I mean by that, okay, Eli, when we grew up in the 90s listening to rap music, we listened to, it was fucked up, but we listened to drug dealers as rappers. Always talking about dealing drugs. Still fucked up, but that's what they rap about. Or
smoking. A lot of them smoke.
Or weed. They smoke weed.
Smoked weed.
Yes.
Is that a drug?
It depends on how the election
it's
goes
practically
next year.
legal.
Yeah. Depends on your state, but that was then. That was in the 90s. Like I said, because we're Gen Xers or Gen Xennials or whatever you want to call us, okay? So, but now with these millennials, they don't listen to drug dealers as rappers. They listen to drug users as rappers. These rappers are just talking about drugs, and they'll say anything. They're taking everything under the sun. The other day on the radio, I'm not even making this up. I heard a rapper rap about snorting cocaine. and going to a party. They didn't do that in the 90s. Like, weed was as much as it went. That was they called it a gateway drug. They didn't call it drug.
Song, I got ain't selling my lead no more, or whatever the fuck.
I don't know what the fuck, what the hell was that?
My daughter was listening to it.
But that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. So now, like I said, when we grew up, that's what we listened to. So now these kids are listening to drug users. They think cocaine is cool. We knew we knew as fucked up as life was. We knew don't snort cocaine. We knew that much. Now,
and even how they rap, it's like they're all fucking
because they are
on some shit. Like
they are on some shit. They're high as fuck on every pill, every drug, every codeine thing they can get over the counter, under the counter. You know,
the beats are all these trap, slow ass beats, and
they're not even saying word. Because you high as shit. You don't even know what you're saying.
I ain't got my drugs. And I'm on my hook.
I snort cocaine. I snort
and I'm
cocaine.
Feeling sad. And I got no job. It's either that or they're like, come in.
Like, that's what you would sound like if you rapped on cocaine. That's
like super fast shit. You don't even know what they're for.
They don't even know what they're saying because they're high as shit. So that's what I'm saying. So we need to do a better job of gatekeeping the music because this shit had to stop because he's not the first rapper to go out by drugs. Just stupid shit like this getting raided. I mean, Lil Wayne, he's had about like 4 or 5 seizures off drugs already. How the fuck he's still alive? I don't know. And if you watch him, he basically look like a character of The Walking Dead right now. And I don't mean Rick Grimes. So yeah, we need to put a stop to this drug junkie rap, whatever the fuck's going on right now, because it's fucking up everybody right now. Because yes, we got these rappers dying left and right, but y'all's gonna have these kids. Because here's the thing. Yes, in the 90s, the rappers rapped about smoking weed. And a lot of people got started smoking weed from listening to rappers. Dr. Dre had the #1 album of the 90s called The Chronic. So a lot of people are like, what the fuck is The Chronic? It's weed. Okay. A lot of people
I will admit, the only reason I started listening to Cypress Hill is because they had, weed songs.
Right. So if you listen to an album and every single song is about smoking weed, eventually you're going to think like, well, maybe I should just try smoking weed sometimes, So if you listen to a rap album nowadays and they're talking about snorting cocaine the entire time, eventually some idiot is going to go like, you know what? Maybe cocaine isn't that bad. So maybe we should do some better gatekeeping on what's going on right now. That's all. That's our public service announcement for today.
Yeah, in our day, like crack is whack. And like Sir Mix-a-Lot had that song about how cocaine was bad.
Right, like
White Lines. Remember White Lines? Grandmaster Flash.
White horse, don't ride the white horse. I think he was talking about cocaine on that, and I can't remember.
White Lines.
But that's the bad part that you think we should have to tell people this stuff, Eli. I feel like we're having a flat Earth argument. Like we shouldn't have to tell you this stuff. We shouldn't have to tell you that cocaine is bad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it's expensive. Y'all can't afford cocaine.
Right.
Fuck, man.
Exactly. Like cocaine is a rich person's drug.
That's why these rappers can afford it. Now.
Exactly. They probably didn't have cocaine when they wasn't rapping.
That's why crack and meth was invented, because poor folk couldn't afford cocaine.
Yep. And we're not gonna talk about how Nixon flitted it into the. What? We're not gonna go there. Anyway, but yeah, let's do a better gatekeeping on music right now. Yeah, so let's do a better job on our gatekeeping of music right now. That means we can actually move into the actual podcast now.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the part where we talk about the box office numbers. This is the part that Eli loves because he always gets the exact movie of what it is, and I know he's going to get it this time. So, Eli, tell me, what is the #1 movie of the week?
Frozen?
A Disney movie, yes.
Oh, yeah.
And it just will not stop. It's just. I never seen the first one yet, and I have Disney Plus, and never seen the first one yet. I'm gonna tomorrow on my off day. I'll do that, I guess, if I'm not watching.
You watch Frozen tomorrow. You spend your day off watching Frozen.
I'm saying that, but I'm not gonna do it. It's like a New Year's resolution. I'm gonna work out and lose weight. No, I'm not.
At least get laid out of the deal.
Right, or something like if I have somebody over here watching Frozen.
Yeah, Frozen and chill.
But what if the movie is so good you're gonna try to get laid? You're like, wait, this is a good movie.
Well, don't start crying during it. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes you invite somebody over and you're gonna get laid. It's a
good
good movie.
I can't wait outside.
You gotta like you can't watch a good movie by getting late. You're like, wait, hold on. I want to see what happens in the next part. You know,
Don't start singing the song.
right? So it's tricky. You got to plan all this stuff ahead of time. What we talking about? Oh, Knives Out. Oh, another thing about getting late. I hate it when you are into the movie and you can't even watch it because the person talking too much. That's my thing. What am I talking about? Anyway, number 2.
Like, no, watching a movie or getting late.
Watching a movie, not getting late.
Because I hate that when you're getting late and they just keep talking.
Well, that's fucked up too. Like, you don't have to keep talking the whole way. You don't have to talk me through this. I'll figure it out.
I know what I'm doing.
Number 2, Knives Out. That
Number
everybody
2 still, huh?
Yeah, it's still in there.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I might go see this movie. It sounds interesting.
It's
Number
good.
3, Ford versus Ferrari, still hanging in there.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, Queen and Slim, still on there.
Oh yeah.
The Black, Blind, and Clyde movie. I'm hearing some good things about it. You know. Number 5, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. I'm pretty sure it's gonna win all the Oscars or whatever.
Yeah.
Number 6, Dark Waters. I'm pretty sure you told me what this is, but I have no idea what this is.
Dark one. Actually, I don't. Sorry.
Okay, cool. As long as you don't know either. Number 7, 21 Bridges. That Chadwick Boseman and the Russo's movie. Pretty much a flop. Yeah, let's call it. Number 8, Playing with Fire. That is the Rock movie. You were telling me about? No, John Cena.
John Cena.
Okay, I was gonna say Roman Reigns next. I knew it was one of those guys. Well, I was gonna say Batista, one of those guys. And number 9, Midway, the movie you keep saying you're gonna go see, but you didn't see.
I didn't see it yet. No.
That's okay. It's like New Year's resolution. We'll eventually see it. Number 10, The Last Christmas. No, Last Christmas, not the last. Still hanging in there.
Damn.
Yeah, people like it. And yeah, they said, like I said, box office numbers are pretty down. Eli, what is today? We're not gonna say today because we are gonna get wrong. Because today is today. It is
Today's today.
Today is today, the 10th. Okay, so today is the 10th. So that means that Star Wars is what? 2 weeks from now?
That's right. 2 weeks. 2 weeks away.
It doesn't feel like it, but it's there.
Yeah.
And so, do you have your tickets? That's the thing.
I do.
Okay, because I tried to get
I do have
tickets
my tickets.
3 days ago. The show I wanted to go to was already sold out.
Damn.
I'm like, fuck. So I got to go to the 10 o'clock show. I'm like, fuck. So now I got to stay off the internet because because if the show starts at 7, you know they're going to spoil everything by 10 o'clock.
Yeah, motherfuckers will be in the fucking theater tweeting about it.
Exactly. So I just got to for 3 hours, I get to just avoid social media just altogether. Otherwise, the whole movie will be spoiled for me. So yeah. Somebody even asked me a question like, would I pay $100 to see Star Wars a week earlier? I wouldn't. The reason I wouldn't, because if you see it, you can't tell anybody about it. You just got to keep it to yourself. So it's like, what's the point? No, just not do it.
Or it could just be Gomer.
Gomer didn't even see this shit. He just sees some shit on Reddit and just spoils it for everybody. Oh, I'm sorry. The Outright Geekery website. We geek out. So what do we got? Yeah, but that's about. Oh, so like I said, we had a shitload of trailers come out. I don't know what was the deal with all the trailers coming out, Eli.
They want us to go to the movies, man.
I know that, but like back to back. Like, what's the point? Like, why
yeah,
now?
It's pretty much all week. It's like I totally forgot that Black Widow.
Yeah, we were gonna talk about Black Widow. Like, yes, it seemed like Black Widow came out like 5 months ago. The trailer, like, no, it came out like 4 days ago or some shit.
Yeah, just the other day.
Right, but this is the internet. That's how fast things move. So yeah, so what we're gonna do? I know everybody's bored because they're tired of hearing about Black Widow, but we're gonna talk about the Black Widow trailer because we never got a chance to talk about it. So let's talk about it, Eli. What do you think about the Black Widow trailer?
Sure.
Okay, you're sold. Okay.
Sure, why not?
Scorsese approved. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Looks like another perfectly good Marvel movie.
And that's the thing. Okay, now since we're gonna talk about that, let's actually compare. Let's kill two birds with one stone. Let's knock out two trailers. I think we got so many trailers to knock out. We got two spy movies coming out roughly around the same time. We got Black Widow, and we got James Bond. Die Another Day, Do Not Die, Die Sometime Tomorrow. What was the name again? No Time to Die. I think. We all die together. So whatever the name of the movie is, there's a new James Bond movie coming out and a Black Widow movie. I think they come out about a week in between. Okay, Eli, which one are you more willing to see? You got it. Gun to your head, which one you going to see?
Probably Black Widow, because unpopular opinion, I never thought Daniel Craig was that good of a Bond.
No! Okay, podcast canceled. Sorry, this last episode. Everybody go home. Go home, we're shutting it down.
No, sorry, not sorry.
Oh, man, that's messed up, man. No, he's my favorite. Craig is my favorite Bond. He really is. I watched all his movies. I watched all his movies like multiple times.
I liked, was it Skyfall?
Yeah.
I think that one was really good.
Yeah.
I really like that one.
Yeah.
The
now,
one where
I agree with the next
the
one.
one where, was that the one where M died? Spoilers?
Yeah. Spoilers.
Yeah,
M died.
I thought that was a good movie.
Yeah.
But the other ones, I just stopped where, all right.
Oh, come on. Casino Royale was awesome. The Casino Royale might be the best one like out of all of them.
It's all right.
Ah, damn it, man. You're killing me.
It's all right.
Anyway, but the reason I'm putting that because you can see the difference between the two spy genres they're trying to make, because both of them are super spies. You know, it's not like a slow CIA. What was that Harrison Ford movies used to make back in the day? Clearing Present Danger and all them Jack Ryan movies. Not those. You know, these are super spies with heightened abilities and gadgets and weapons and all this shit like that. So they're different, but you can tell how they're
Spy
different.
kids with grown-ups.
Basically, that's basically what they are. Because Black Widow, she plays in a different universe than James Bond. So yeah, she's a super spy and she's human and she has no powers, but you can tell that she plays in a different universe than he does, because she's in a world with like mutants and gods and aliens and robots and cyborgs and
alien tech
and cyborgs boning mutants and shit. So she lives in that world. Where James Bond has never fought, a mutant that fucks a robot or anything like that. That he lives in the sort of kind of real world, but not really the real world. But just enough. And it felt like, his movie felt like a little bit more weight to it, where you could tell Black Widow's world was cartoony. It was the Marvel universe. So that's the two difference between those two. Now it's got me thinking about the Black Widow trailer again. Now here's the thing, Eli. Do we need a Black Widow movie? That's the thing. I'm gonna answer that question. No, we don't.
No,
we don't. Because she's already died. We already know the ending of a story. I don't really give a shit about Budapest, even though everybody else does. Some shit happened. Okay, cool. But at the same time, Scarlett Johansson deserves a movie. That's how I feel. We don't need a Black Widow movie, but she deserves a movie because she worked her ass off. She put the time in. She did her job to make these movies what they are. Every movie she was in, she killed it. She was in Winter Soldier, almost stole the show. She's in the Avengers movie. She sticks out. She was in Iron Man 2, one of the breakouts from a bad movie, but she was still one of the breakouts in that, So yeah, give her a movie, let her get the spotlight, let her get her check. Why not?
Yeah, there you go.
So nothing wrong with that. I'm just curious about how this movie is gonna be. Is it gonna be a Black Widow movie? Or is it going to be a movie with a bunch of assholes in it? Like the Winter Guard and the Red Guardian and the Red whatever and the Red Room and the Red Square.
And a shitty version of Taskmaster?
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, why the fuck how did you fuck up Taskmaster? Out of all people, that should have been easy.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was him until people said that was him.
And it's not the fact that you didn't know he was Taskmaster. I didn't know that was supposed to be like a major villain. Like, I just thought they were showing some random goon.
Because there was a bunch of them that looked just like him.
They looked like the dudes at the end, jumping off and shooting them in the sky. They all look like Taskmaster.
Yeah.
So I must have know him different from the other goons in there. So when I see the trailer at first, I'm just I didn't even catch it at first. I didn't even think it was a big bad. I just thought, okay, it's just some dude, Yeah. But then they tell me, oh, that's I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I did see the behind the scenes. It is Taskmaster. So here's another thing that's gonna piss people off, Eli. And I said this again. I've already tweeted it. Back in April or May, I'm going to hang on to this tweet. Watch when I tell you they're going to make Taskmaster woman. I guarantee you. People say, oh, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't have any proof. I don't need fucking proof. It's Marvel. If Marvel is one thing, they're predictable. On purpose. Because they got to be predictable on purpose. You
think it's going to be her sister or that woman or whatever?
It's going to be Raquel Weisz, the old spy.
Yeah.
It's going to be her.
Yeah.
Because they say she went through the red room like 5-6 times or some shit. And why would they get her to just be some random ass nobody spy? That doesn't make any sense. She's actually a pretty good actress. So of course you're gonna get her to be the evil witch queen, whatever she's supposed to be. It's obvious. So that's the thing. Marvel, I love Marvel, but their storytelling is predictable, mainly because they're telling 50-year-old stories. So of course we already know the ending of these stories. So That's my thing. I actually hoping this will be a Black Widow movie and not just a movie where Black Widow is just in another world. Cause that's the thing. Like, I love Black Panther. I know you hated it, but I love Black Panther.
I didn't hate Black Panther.
But
What the fuck? I saw it twice in the theater. Yeah.
once and a half, yeah. But the one thing that I did, you know, that rubbed me the wrong way about the movie, that the movie wasn't about T'Challa. It seemed like it was about everything else but T'Challa. The movie should have been called Wakanda the movie, you know, because it's really about Wakanda. He was just kind of just there, just walking through the motion, stuff like that. And I feel like Black Widow is kind of got to be that same movie where it's about everything else but her. You know, she's just there to just put all these other pieces in and stuff like that. So where James Bond feels like a James Bond movie, even though they have been advertising it not as a James Bond movie. Because here's the thing, Eli. Like, are you familiar with the 007 movies and all the shit like that?
I've seen a bunch, yeah.
Okay, cool. You saw some of the Craig movies, so that's cool. So apparently in this movie, we never talked about this, but apparently in this particular movie, James Bond is not the 007. So the actual 007 in this movie is actually the black chick that was in the movie. And that's supposed to be like the big.
I think I remember hearing something about that. Yeah, I think I heard something about that.
Even though in the trailer, didn't actually never came out and said she was 007. They just said she was a 00. So maybe they changed it after the uproar, or maybe it was some clickbait bullshit to begin with. We don't know. But they're basically saying that she has replaced him as 007 because they thought he was dead or retired and left with everything. So they just filled this position. You just gave it to somebody else. So that's going to be the whole thing right there. So people are like, oh, she's going to, and you know, the usual crowd are getting upset. The SJWs, you know, oh, you're making, because everybody wanted Idris Elba to be the next James Bond. And they said, no, he can't be him because he's black. So you're going to turn around and make a black woman 007. It's like a double fuck you, you know.
Weren't they supposed to make, they were talking about making that Halle Berry movie back in the day, but they never did.
Yeah, because every single movie she was in after that flopped, including the movie, James Bond movie she was in. So like, you know what? Maybe this isn't good. If we saw Catwoman, maybe we're okay with that, you know. So
I don't remember people bitching about it, though.
Yeah, people, but I mean, but they were gonna make a spin-off movie, and that was the whole point of that movie, to be like a spin-off movie, like a pilot for her spin-off movie. But we all knew it was gonna suck anyway. So what's the point? And plus, after that movie, they kind of ended that whole James Bond series anyway. There's like no reason to keep it going.
That was Pierce Brosnan, wasn't it?
That was like his last movie anyway. So they're gonna just completely just wipe everything away, reboot it. So there was no reason to make another Halle Berry movie anyway from that, you know. But now they have.
I would have watched it. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I don't know. That movie, that was probably the worst movie, James Bond movie, or one of the worst. But Halle Berry was like super fucking hot in that movie for some reason. I mean, it's Halle Berry, so what do you expect? I'm just saying in that movie, she was like Halle Berry Super Saiyan or some shit, you know. So anyway, back to this new movie. So there's a black chick that's the new 007, and everybody's saying, "Oh, you're replacing our character. Get your own characters." I'm like, calm down. First off, they only showed her like 2 seconds in the movie. You know what's gonna happen. Either A, she's gonna die, and James Bond's gonna get revenge for her the rest of the movie, or 2, she is the bad guy. One or the other. So it's really no reason to get your panties in a bunch over this. No, because at the end of the day, it's gonna be James Bond's story. It's not like he's taking the back seat to her and it's her movie. No, she's taking the back seat to him. If anything, we should be pissed because I'm seeing all these posts about, oh, we just gonna see the movie just for the new 007. I'm like, why? Like, she's barely gonna be in the movie. So they got your money. So whatever. So that's 2 trailers we got knocked out. What's the other one on there? You want to talk about that Free Guy one? Free Guy?
Sure.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Okay. Ryan Reynolds is back. Oh, Ryan Reynolds is a genius. I'm gonna talk about him for a second. But let's talk about this movie and just talk about how much of a genius he is. He basically made. He's with Disney now. This is a Disney movie, and he basically made Grand Theft Auto. Basically. Okay. But he's an NPC, and when I mean NPC, I mean non-playable character. Not what you assholes are wanting the NPC to mean. If you don't know what I'm talking about, God bless you. You don't need to know. But anyway, he's an NPC. He finds out that he wants to be one of the main characters, like in Grand Theft Auto, killing everybody, and they got one kid doing the Fortnite dance and shit like that. So he wants to be one of the video game characters too, causing carnage and shooting people, and he wants to be one of those guys. So that's pretty much the movie. Okay? Just him blowing up shit. Yeah. He's
like
basically
another
like
version of the Matrix. Yeah.
It's like Matrix, or like, you ever seen Wreck-It Ralph?
Yeah.
basically like that, you know, like Wreck-It Ralph, one of those type of movies. It was like another movie somebody compared it to also, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, all of those movies where he's one guy, but he realized that he can be somebody else. He can be the real person at the NPC. So it seems pretty interesting. Why is that trailer coming out now when it's not due till like in the summertime? I don't know, but whatever. Okay. Now, this is a trailer I want to talk about. Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman 1984. Now, Eli, this trailer just flew past, but there is a lot of shit that was in this trailer. Like, if you like, I've seen some breakdowns and scene by scenes and shot by shots and stuff like that. There's a shit ton of shit in this movie, in this trailer. I meant to say. So, basically, what we got is and I'm gonna get you a second time. What would you think about the trailer? That Wonder Woman.
I thought it looked cool as hell.
Okay, cool. Actually, out of all the ones, that was my favorite trailer out of all of them. Not just because just the visual of it just looked cool of it, but then they started breaking down all the stuff that was going on in it. First off, she's riding fucking lightning. Like, what?
Yeah, well, she was lassoing it and shit.
Yeah, I'm like Spider-Man's like, fuck me? Like, that's my thing, you know? And apparently that's a thing in the comics. I mean, she's the daughter of Zeus. So I wouldn't be surprised if she could do that. They said you might have seen or not seen the Invisible Plane in the movie. You know.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah. And the big bads in the movie. So you got one big bad. You got Kristen Wiig, supposed to be playing Barbara Minerva, a.k.a. Cheetah. Eli, I'll be honest with you. I've never looked at Kristen Wiig that way. But when they showed her in the second scene, she was walking up the stairs. I looked at her that way. That's just me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I looked at her that way. I was like,
well, good for you.
she could be Cheetah. Yeah. Hey, I got weird taste. That's me. One of these days we're gonna make a whole episode of my weird kinks. But anyway, so that's the most interesting one. Well, we'll get to Steve Trevor in a second. Most interesting one was the weird preacher evangelist looking dude, who you may recognize or may not recognize from The Mandalorian.
Yep, that was him.
Pedro Pascal, that's his name.
Yep.
Hopefully I got his name right. Yeah. So he's supposed to be playing Maxwell Lord. So Max, and I'll get to Maxwell Lord in a second. Let's go back to Steve Trevor. Now, everybody's going crazy over Steve Trevor. Why is Steve Trevor here? So you got all these fan theories about why he's here, and people are getting pissed off that it undermines his death from the last movie, stuff like that. And they all theorize like, why is he here? Here's the thing: when the movie comes out, the movie would tell you why he's here. Until then, stop making up these bullshit theories and getting your panties in a bunch for no reason. You're ruining the movie for yourself. Because you're gonna make up some bullshit.
Talking about comic book fans. What else they got to do?
Do something, anything. Because this shit is counterproductive. Because what you're gonna do, and Star Wars fans do the same shit. You're gonna come with this theory, this bullshit ass theory all the time. Oh, like in Infinity War. Oh, they're all in the Soul Stone. No, they're not. I kept telling people they're not in the Soul Stone. It's the same thing with this. They're gonna make up some bullshit excuse about how they think he's back. It's not gonna be that excuse, and they're gonna piss themselves off. Oh, well, I thought it was gonna be this. I thought it was gonna be that. So calm down. Just wait for the movie to come out and relax. Damn it. Now, that being said, Eli, I have a theory. Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, let's go back to Maxwell Lord. Now, for those
Let's hear your bullshit theory.
My bullshit theory that I'm going to complete. But the difference is my theory is going to be right.
Oh, yeah.
So Maxwell Lord, for those that don't know who Maxwell Lord is in the comics, Maxwell Lord in the comics, he was first in Justice League Unlimited in 1987, whatever like that. Awesome run. Go read it if it's on DC Universe. Definitely, I recommend it. So he put the Justice League together, and it turns out that he had the powers of persuasion. Like he could suggest things and make people do or think what he wanted them to do and think. But it turns out later on, like in the 2000s, like in Infinite Crisis, or one of those crises that we'll talk about later on. Turns out he was way more powerful than what everybody thought he was. He was like a full-blown telepath. He could make you imagine, hallucinate, do whatever the fuck he wanted you to do. So he was like fucking crazy. They didn't realize that later on. And that's what I'm thinking that might be what's going on in this story, is that Steve Trevor is not there. It's like a Sixth Sense type thing. Like you think
he's Mysterio.
Like Mysterio. He's an illusion. That's what I'm thinking. Because Maxwell Lord is basically planning her most wanted desire in her head, which is Steve Trevor coming back. Kind of like throw her off to his evil plan, whatever the hell he's got going on. So that's what I'm thinking going on. He's just an illusion. He's not really there. He's a ghost. Maxwell Lord is making her think she's dead because Maxwell Lord probably has his metahuman psychic illusion powers in this movie also. We'll see. We'll see where it goes from there. And probably the same thing with Cheetah. He probably like Cheetah wants to be, like in the comics, Cheetah wants to be Wonder Woman. Like she likes Wonder Woman's power. She wants to be a Wonder Woman type power person. So she becomes Cheetah and whatever like that. So he's probably doing the same thing with her, give her superpowers and stuff like that. So I'm thinking that's where it's gonna go. But like I said, I might be completely wrong, but I doubt it. Let's go back, and there's some other things that happened in the trailer also that kind of caught me off guard. Like I said, the name of the story is 1984. Now, one of the things that might tie it in 1984, not just facts in the 80s, but 1984 is also based on a novel by George Orwell, which is the story of Big Brother who surveys everybody. I'm getting super deep in there, but I'm going to bring it all around. Just wait. Okay. So there's this satellite in the trailer that they're helicoptering to, which may be Maxwell Lord's evil base and stuff like that. And some people think that might be Brother Eye. Now, in the Infinite Crisis, maybe Brother Eye. Now, let me back this up. Let everybody know what Brother Eye is. Now, in the Infinite Crisis story, like I said, one of the crises we're going to talk about, but Brother Eye was actually created by Batman. Now, Batman created Brother Eye because he wanted to spy on all the metahumans on Earth because he flat out didn't trust their ass. So he wanted to spy and watch every one of their moves to see what they were doing. Maxwell Lord stole Brother Eye from underneath him and used it for his own evil purposes. And so what we're thinking is that Maxwell Lord is going to use Brother Eye for some evil purpose, or maybe like surveillance everybody on the planet or find out what everybody's doing. And you have Brother Eye surveilling everybody like Big Brother in the 1984 novel. It comes all back around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, now that I may be wrong about. We'll see. Some of that shit I know I got right. I think about 60% of that shit I got completely right. 160%, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's in there somewhere. So that's what I think. The whole Hawk Girl outfit she had at the end, I don't know. They said it was in Kingdom Come. I'm like, okay. So, because apparently she can't fly. She still can't fly. So she need wings, like Red Bull. So cool. Yeah. So awesome trailer. I think that's all the trailer we got out. If it's a trailer we missed, it's probably because it's stuck, so it doesn't really matter. Now, Eli, let's get into.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about Ghostbusters, right?
I didn't see it. I didn't give a fuck about Ghostbusters. Why are people getting so excited about Ghostbusters? They had one good movie. That was it. 2 sucked. Mm-hmm. And the new one sucked too, even worse. Don't know why. And why you think the new one's going to be any different? Well, you got the same people running it, same people making it. So, nah. They had one good movie. Ghostbusters was a lightning in a bottle. It was a flash in the pan. It was a one-time thing. It was a perfect storm. Just let it be what it is. Stop trying to create lightning in a bottle.
Did you watch the movie that made us or whatever yet?
Is that on there?
Yeah. And they have a Ghostbusters episode.
They're gonna have one, or it's already on there?
No, it's already on there.
Oh shit, I gotta see that. Now look, Ghostbusters, the first Ghostbusters is a classic. I love that movie. I'm not knocking that movie at all. I love the movie. And the thing about that movie, it's one of those weird movies that when you watch as a kid, you don't catch all the jokes that you catch when you're older. So I actually appreciate the movie more as an adult than I did as a kid. Yeah. But that being said, every Ghostbusters movie after that, I'm just like, what's the point? So it's just like one of those movies I don't really care. Maybe I'm just not nostalgic like that. I don't know. It just doesn't get me. So when I saw there was a new trailer, I didn't click it. I was like, I don't care. Matter of fact, I feel like we spent too much time talking about Ghostbusters as it is. So let's move on to the next thing. Unless you saw the trailer.
I saw it.
Okay, well, what would you think about it?
Yeah, it's all right.
What the fuck, man? Okay. Well, I guess I'm right about that. So, what do we got now? Now we can talk about what I saw, and you only saw half of, but I saw 2 of. We can talk about Crisis on Infinite Earth, the CW adaptation. And so, yeah. Now, Eli, what do you think about the first one? I know you're not into the CW lore, and I know you haven't been keeping up with the shows. What do you think about like the first episode?
It was good. I haven't, I haven't watched any of those shows in years. Mm-hmm. And what was the last crossover that I watched? It was like a year or 2 ago.
Yeah, Elseworlds where they swap bodies and shit.
Yeah, Elseworld. Yeah, that's the one. Mm-hmm. That was like the last time I watched it, and even then I hadn't kept up on the shows, but I was able to follow along for the most part. But yeah, and this one, I had no idea that. Oliver had a daughter. There was some what was it, Brainy? I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And then I saw the 3 dots on his belt. I'm like, is he a Brainiac? And so there was some stuff I had to catch up on. Like, what the hell is going on now? Mm-hmm. But still, I mean, it still touched up on, stuff from the comic pretty well. I thought the Shadow people were pretty cool. Even though
that's
they're
right out of the comics, yeah.
Yeah, I even though they were kind of, I think in the comic they were a little bit more powerful. I don't think they were dispatched up pretty easily. I think
Nah, they was pretty much like that. They were pretty much disposable goons in the comics also.
Well, Oliver was like shooting them with arrows.
I think you could shoot me air, but I think the only thing was it was so many of them. But I think they like individually they could be taken out pretty easily.
Yeah. But other than that, the big giant towers, whatever the fuck they were called, I thought, I was like, oh yeah. So it kind of like brought me back, a little bit. Mm-hmm. And just, yeah, I mean, not to go into spoilers yet, but even though I haven't watched the show in years, I found the ending of that first episode quite moving. I was like, wow, I didn't expect to be that emotionally, moved by that one scene.
Don't get too excited. They bring it back next episode.
Okay. Well, I kind of figured.
They find a Lazarus pit on Earth 89 or some shit, and they bring him back or whatever.
Well, I figured there's going to be other one because there was another guy, but it left me wondering who are they actually? Are they going to actually kill somebody major? Are they, or who is it going to be? I mean, it's obviously not going to be Supergirl and Flash,
right?
Because they have
shows, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, who would they get rid of?
Right, because it got to be major. Because they had some major deaths in the other one, like Firestorm died in one of those things.
Yeah,
and
like everybody
back.
dies. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's got to be something other than the Titans. Like, how the fuck you don't kill the Titans? Like,
yeah.
They only. I mean, that didn't make it seem like, are you wiping out the DC Universe app or something? Like, we're giving you a heads up. We're letting you know now.
That's why there's no Swamp Thing season 2.
Right.
Because
the
crisis happened.
You're right. Now, that would have been fucked up if we saw Swamp Thing and then the crisis just like, don't ask for fucking season 2. It's done. That's what they should have did.
Yeah.
Why do Titans when you got a season 3? Do Swamp Thing or some shit, and that's it. Doom Patrol or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing with that one. So yeah, love the first episode. Bunch of shit that went down. I even heard that because I even watched the after show with Kevin Smith after the show when we had interviews with everybody and stuff like that, and they said they actually like got Marv Wolfman, the original Crisis writer, to help out with the episode because there was a lot of stuff in there that like straight referenced the old Crisis thing. And like the old Crisis, like I said, the Shadow Demons, the large tower, Harbinger was in there. Pariah showed up for no reason.
Yeah. Harbinger. Like, Lila. Who the fuck is Lila?
That's the thing. Okay. Oh, you don't know who Lila is. Okay. Lila is Diggle's wife.
Oh.
Yeah, she's been on that since season 1, season 2, something like that. But the thing is, here's the thing.
Was she Harbinger back then?
No, but here's the thing. Harbinger's name in the comics is Lila Michaels.
Oh, really?
So Diggle's wife has been named Lila Michaels since she's appeared in season 1 or 2, whatever the fuck she's been in. So I'm like, how long have they been planning this?
And she worked for
Argus,
Argus?
Yeah, she's like a spy or some shit.
Argus,
yeah. And then in this season, it's like basically in this season, it was revealed that she's been working with the Harbinger. I mean, working with the Monitor the entire time.
Yeah, and the Monitor's been on the show before.
He was on there last year. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember seeing him before.
Yeah, so
like on the shows. It's been a while, but
let's say the last time you saw Monitor, it was the last time he was on there.
Okay.
So he basically appears like once a year.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's nothing you had to like really learn about him, but that's the thing. So Lila, and that's the weird thing. Like, how long have they been planning this? Because Lila Michaels' name on the show is the same as Harbinger's name in the comics. And all of a sudden, he just made her Harbinger, and now she's got all these crazy ass powers just out of nowhere. She's been working with the Monitor the whole time, didn't tell anybody, like her husband, her kids, nothing.
Yeah, I just thought it was hey, Lila. Oh, I'm Harbinger now. I'm like, really? Well, who the fuck? I just didn't remember. Like it's been so long since I didn't remember her.
Oh, this happened like the episode before. So
okay, yeah, I didn't.
It's also like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So some weird shit. Like I said, all the nods. I got it, man. I wish you would have saw episode 2 because a lot of shit happened in episode 2 that I want to talk about. Can I just tell you about it?
Yeah.
Okay, so all the Supermens are back. I shouldn't have put an S on men's. That sounded wrong. But anyway, and Kevin Conroy makes his live action debut as Batman.
Oh, really?
Bruce Wayne. Yeah, because here's how they introduce him. Like, Batwoman and Supergirl go.
Is he in the cowl? Wait, don't tell me.
I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I'll let you watch it. But I will tell you this: that like they go into the mansion and you don't see him at first. You just hear his voice. You're like, oh shit, this Batman? Like it fucks with your mind for a second. You're like, oh shit, because it sounds like Batman. And then he walks down, you know,
Batman.
with the Kingdom Come thing, whatever like that. But when you just hearing him talk, he's just like, who's down there and like that. It's gonna fuck you up for a second. I promise you. Because he's actually getting to play live action Batman or Bruce Wayne or whatever you want for the first time. But what they do with the story, Eli, I'm gonna let you. That's why I'm gonna wait for you to see it before I take it. I'm not gonna tell you what they did with it. You may like it, you may hate it. I don't know. I've been on Twitter. I'm hearing different opinions about it. I was just like, okay, I can see that. But yeah. What else? Brandon Routh is back as Superman, and but here's the Superman he's playing. He's actually playing the movie version of every Superman up to the point of Henry Cavill. So the Reeves version, he's playing the Reeves version because technically the Reeves version is the Superman Returns version.
Yeah,
and he makes references of all those movies, like Superman 3. He makes reference to that. He makes reference to his son and Superman Returns. All that shit.
Superman.
Yeah, so he's that Superman. He's the Reeves Superman. So, what else? Smallville shows up. You know, everybody got excited for that. It's funny that Lois, like the Lois of the CW, she's flirting with every multiverse Superman, like right in front of Superman. Like, don't even care. What else? What happened at the end? Some crazy shit happened at the end, but I'm not gonna tell you. That's all I'm gonna tell you about that. When you watch that episode,
what's the schedule like? Okay. So what was this Batwoman?
Yes. Okay. So here's the schedule, and I broke this down. So last night was Supergirl. The night before was Supergirl. This night was Batwoman. Today is gonna be Flash, and then it goes on hiatus. So that's the season finale of the whole thing. They're gonna pick back up in 2020, and that is gonna be 2 episodes. It's gonna be Arrow, which is gonna be the last, was like the series finale, and that's gonna be it. And Legends of Tomorrow, and that's the ending.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's 5 episodes. So that's the biggest thing they've done so far. Oh yeah, and there was a Superman versus Superman fight that was pretty cool. But like I said, I'm not gonna go into detail about what happens with that. But that was all pretty cool right there. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do next episode. Next episode is gonna be Black Lightning. I didn't see the Black Lightning episode tonight, but they said it ties directly into the Crisis.
Oh, they do have a Black Lightning.
Yeah, they got a Black Lightning thing. So he's gonna be in the next episode.
Now, do you think like Spectre and Psycho Pirate and all those motherfuckers are gonna show up?
That's the thing, because Psycho Pirate was in last year. You know, he should.
Was he?
Yeah, like in the Elseworlds thing, he was in Arkham.
Huh.
And Batwoman beat his ass, and then he just disappeared, and that was it. So you thinking Psycho Pirate would be here, but he didn't, like, he hadn't shown up yet.
Yeah,
but
I don't remember him. I don't remember Psycho Pirate being on the show.
He was on like briefs. I don't think he said his name, but he did wear the mask, and that was about it. So yeah. But like I said, in the comics, Harbinger is a double agent. She's working for the Monitor and the Anti-Monitor. So I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it for you.
Isn't she like get infected or something? Doesn't like a shadow person? I forget.
No. It's like the Monitor, the Anti-Monitor himself infects her or something. But anyway, she kills the Monitor in the comics.
Yeah.
So at the end of episode 2, it turns out that she's a double agent for the Anti-Monitor. Like the Anti-Monitor shows up at the end of the episode also.
And like, what's his name? Like witnesses at the end and shit. And
the Pariah, yeah.
The Pariah,
yeah. So he hasn't really done anything yet. He just kind of shows up. But yeah, like little nods here and there. Oh, Kevin Conroy quotes Batfleck in BVS. I won't tell you what line, but he says a line in there. I was like, what the fuck?
Fuck Martha right in the pussy.
So yeah, like I said,
I shouldn't curse so much. I guess I offend Comic Cast when I curse.
Oh yeah, they said you F word. They must have listened to Geeks Aff then, because you let it.
They
fly
must not. They must not listen.
Like, this is the PG version of Eli.
Yeah, this is me reined in and shit.
Right. Geeks Aff is like, fuck it, I'm just out there. I listened to your podcast. I was like, I'm glad he didn't say that shit here. We didn't get demonetized that quick.
My comic reviews or whatever.
Right.
We should just turn our comic reviews to how like 5 fuck yeahs and something.
5 out of fucking 5. Like, how much is
3 out of 5 fuck yeahs?
Yeah, like how much is a fuck? How many fucks is that? You know. Yeah, but like I said, I've been excited for Crisis. Want to see it. Want to see where it goes, and then we'll keep going from there. Video game news. Can we hear some video game news for a second?
Sure.
Let me make an announcement, Eli.
All
I
right.
bought an Xbox One X.
Did you now?
Yeah, haven't opened it. I'm looking at it, having buyer's remorse. 'Cause I don't want it. It's just there. But it was on sale, so it's like, why not? What I'm gonna do? I'm a sucker. I don't know, man. That's all. What I'm gonna do is just play it for a little while, and then when the Xbox 860 or whatever the fuck comes out, 720 or whatever comes out, just trade it in. For a good price. It's an Xbox One X, so I know I get a good price on it. So why not?
Right.
But I play everything on PC, so I don't. All those games that were on, had like Star Wars. I got Star Wars. NBA 2K got that. Gears of War 5. I got that. So.
Well, it's on PC.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. That's another thing. That's what I meant to tell you. I'm glad you reminded me. That's actually what I really want to talk about in the video game section. Halo Reach is now on, and now it's been released on PC and Xbox. Now, I love Halo Reach. I have not bought it because I know if I buy a Halo game, it's gonna be a wrap. I'm gonna be playing until 5 o'clock in the morning until it's time to go to work, and I don't want to do that. And I'm like, well, you're gonna be waking me up. It's time to podcast, Leroy. Nah, playing Halo, can't do it. So I don't want to go through that again. I do know that I know all these kids playing Fortnite and shit like that. I just know like their dads are gonna kick them off the game and shit like that. Halo time. Fuck off my Xbox. You only play this shit for 2 years now. Daddy's home. So I'm glad to hear about that. And last thing is MLB The Show is now going cross-platform. So MLB The Show is coming to Xbox. I'm excited for it. Even though I have Xbox, I'm excited for it because MLB The Show is the best sports game on video game systems right now. Better than NBA 2K, better than Madden, all that. When you play it, you will know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, that's all the video game shit I got. I probably got some more shit, but I think I'm video gamed out. That being said, can we move on to the next part of the podcast?
Sure.
All right, so this is the next part of the podcast. We're talking about this is the comic book bullies. We're talking about the comic books, and we're going to get into it. And I think I read a whole bunch of shit, and I think Eli took the night off and went to go smoke a cigarette. It was time to do comics, whatever, like that. So
I went on vacation.
That's okay. That's okay.
From comic
Eli.
book reading this week.
Look, you took up my slack a bunch of times during this year because I just didn't give a shit sometimes. So
there just wasn't shit that really interested me, man.
Oh man, there's a bunch of shit that came out.
Money was kind of tight. I will admit, money was a little tight.
It's Christmas. It's December. I get it. I completely get it.
My kid just had a birthday. I just bought my kid a car, so I couldn't get that many cars.
What you get him? What you get him?
A piece of shit little beater truck
That's
for
what
a
you're
few $100.
supposed to do. So they got to learn how to fix it and work on it. They'll appreciate it. So I learned about cars from that piece of shit car that my parents hand me down to. So
yeah,
it was
a piece of crap that barely runs, but it does run and has heat, and it can and he's not borrowing our car all the time. So
right, that's right. He gets stuck on the side of the highway. He'll learn how to fix it.
Yeah.
Let me say it. Let's move on to the comic book. So I guess let me start off with another one of these X books. Look, I'm not gonna do a whole X minute or hour or half hour, whatever like that. I read one X book. And I'm gonna review one X book because the other X books I'm starting to lose interest in. I'm trying to hop off this train, Eli, but I'm gonna stick with this one for right now. So I'm gonna review X-Men number 3, and this may be one of the weirdest X-Men books I've ever read. Okay. So this is how it starts off. Apparently, like we already know in Hickman's world is that in Hickman's run that they're making these drugs to give to the humans and shit like that, to do whatever. They're growing these drugs in the Savage Land. That's what they're growing these drugs. So apparently these 4 hooded people come through and take the Savage Land hostage. They hijack them. Apparently they got some kind of goo that if they spray the mutants with them, they instantly lose their powers and can't do anything. And they take control of the Savage Land. So the Savage Land is actually locked off to everybody, to the rest of the mutants. They can't get there. So that's why the Council of the X or whatever like that, like whoever's in charge of the government in Krakoa, they call Cyclops there specifically. So Cyclops walks into the meeting holding hands with Emma Frost. And they walk in and they see his wife. And his wife is just looking at him like, oh, hey. Doesn't say anything. They being all cordial shit like that. Jean Grey looks at Emma like, Emma, I love your shoes. And Emma's like, oh, yeah, I will let you borrow them, but my shoes are too big for you to feel. And Jean Grey like, oh, that's okay. I don't like borrowing. Borrowing is more your thing. They're doing like this cat calling back and forth like, meow, like, okay. So basically, Cyclops has a side chick while Jean Grey has a side dude with Wolverine. So Hickman's doing some weird shit with this whole family dynamic right now. But anyway, they tell Cyclops he has to go to the Savage Land and find out what the fuck's going on there because the Savage Land has been hijacked, and we don't know what they're doing with our pharmaceutical drugs because that's basically that's our economy to run for Krakoa. If they fuck that up, they could fuck up the whole economy of the country. Like, Cyclops, I'm on it. He goes down there. Cyclops goes down there, takes Emma Frost and Sebastian Shaw. They go down, but how do they get down there? Because all of the portals have been blocked out from them. So how do they get there? They teleport. They portal to Australia, where they find Gateway, because Gateway is this master teleporter who teleports them to the Savage Land. Boom, they're there. So they see the 4 people there that have taken Savage Land hostage, and the 4 people take their mask off, and apparently they're these geriatric old ladies that look like the Golden Girls. 4 of them. They're like all in their 70s and 80s, shit like that. And apparently they have taken a Savage Land hostage. And they call themselves the Horticulture. And one of them looks at Emma Frost and she's like, oh, you look like a slut. Yeah, I used to be one when I was back in the 30s or 50s or whatever like that. And it's like, wait, what? So they used to get to fighting with these old ladies. And these old ladies kick their ass. And apparently these old ladies used to be botanists or, plant ladies, whatever like that. But when the mutants started, taking over, selling drugs and shit like that, it put them out of business. So they so good with plants and shit like that, since Krakoa is just one big ass plant, they learned how to hack into Krakoa. And now that they actually came to the Savage Land to take the drugs and a piece of Krakoa to learn more about them, so they kick the shit out of the X-Men and take the seeds of Krakoa and go back to where the fuck they came from. End of the book. So apparently these old ladies could destroy Krakoa or some shit like that, the horticulture. So that show back up again. Overall, 3.5 out of 5. It's a fucking weird book, but it was interesting. Cyclops with a side dude. They're fighting the Golden Girls. Golden Girls kick their ass. Sebastian Shaw's fucking useless. It was interesting. So yeah.
All right. Well, I didn't read any Marvel.
Oh damn. Okay.
So I guess I'll go to DC. The only book I read was the Green Lantern Blackstars.
Okay, let's go for it. I really like this book, but I'll let you review it.
Yeah, this is good. I mean,
I'm gonna chime in when I need to.
Yeah, Grant Morrison writing crazy ass Grant Morrison shit.
And he was like really like digging into DC in this book.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, quick recap. This is like an alternate universe because the old DC universe was wiped out by Mew the Controller and the Blackstars. They're sort of like this space cult that is trying to bring balance and peace by basically killing everybody. So Hal is a part of this cult, and he is to marry Beelzebeth, this queen of the vampires who feeds on stars and planets. And she's supposed to eat Earth as a wedding present. So they're about to get married. So this book sort of starts out, Hal is going to Earth, and he's talking with Superman. And he's basically telling him how the Earth is all fucked up and it's in bad shape, and how the superheroes are just wasting their time because no matter how much they fight crime and, stop all these world-ending threats and like crises and shit, that nothing really changes. And his son Jonathan wants to go join the Blackstars. Mm-hmm. But Superman, doesn't want him to, and is like telling Hal, stay away from my son, because you come like within 100 light years of my son, there's going to be a war.
Yeah, Jonathan's like, fuck you, Dad.
Yeah, he's like, fuck you, Dad. You suck, Meanwhile, there's like tension going on with the Blackstars. They're like starting to question Mew the Controller and why he's never around, why they never hear from him. But Beelzebeth tells everyone to chill and that he's resting. And then we go into Beelzebeth's backstory and how she was like married to some like vampire king asshole who she ended up killing him by making him like eat a supernova. Fucking Grant Morrison. and then all this shit happened. Did you catch
a pic where she said his dick was little?
I don't remember that. I remember she had to wait till he transformed into like this big giant space mist or whatever.
Yeah, the Sun Eater. Yeah, Grant Moore loved those Sun Eaters. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, Mew ends up saving Beelzebeth and raises her and she ends up serving him. Said, I'll serve you and we'll take over the universe together. We'll form the Blackstars, all that shit. And kind of leads us till now. We go to the wedding between Hal and Beelzebeth. And basically Mew like drops dead. He just dies. And Beelzebeth's like, don't tell anyone. He's so powerful that they can't keep all these clone bodies going because he uses them all up. And don't tell anyone he's dead. She also reveals that there's a Green Lantern ring, which basically tells Hal like there's a universe that did exist before this one. And Hal's like, well, you're not going to eat my world. And then Jonathan shows up, Superman's son, and like, well, war's here.
Right, because he recruited Jonathan, and you can hear Superman outside. He's like, okay, you took my son? Yeah, I'm finna fuck everybody up.
Yeah, so basically, the shit's about to, go down.
Yeah.
And that's where it ends. And yeah, this was crazy. This is just crazy. And you can totally tell that Grant Morrison is taking a dig at like the recent state of
really shitting on like the DC universe. Yeah.
Yeah, like taking pot shots at like Snyder and Tom King with the mental health issues and shit.
Like you talking about Batman, who like, yeah, first they were just like crazy animal costumes, robbing banks. Then they do that shit anymore. They just trying to kill Batman. That's the only reason they're here. Yeah. I'm like, damn, that is what the hell they do.
Like that Bat Manson. So he's like a Charles Manson version of Batman. It's like
right.
Is that him like trying to say this is the Batman who laughs and shit.
Right. Like this shit's been done before. And he was like, what? Yeah. And then Hal Jordan was like, well, why don't the Justice League do something? The Justice League, they're always in space, always fighting monsters and shit. They don't have time to even fool with anything down here. And then he was trying to tell him like, look, the Blackstars, when we do shit, we actually stop shit. You're just doing the same shit over and over and over again. You're always fighting Luthor, always fighting Brainiac, always fighting Darkseid.
Yeah, that's what Jonathan tells Superman. You just fight the same bad guys over and over.
Right. Like this shit is insanity.
Yeah, he's just like Grant Morrison just commenting on just how comics are becoming like tired reruns and just rehashing stories and recycled writing and just to maintain the status quo. I thought that was like really funny.
I was like, I hope whoever reads the story, I hope they catch that subtext in there, because I know comic readers hate subtext. I know you do, but this shit is funny. This shit, like, he's really digging into DC. He really shitting on DC in this book. It's
like what fucking
like he's even shitting on them for what they did to his story. You're like, I don't even know what Superman you are. Didn't you have jeans and t-shirt last time I saw you? Like you always got a crisis popping up. I don't even know what the fuck's going on in this earth anymore.
What was that issue of Doomsday Clock where Jeff Johns sort of basically blames DC sucking on Alan Moore? Right. Alan Moore and Zack Snyder.
What was that, 10? Issue 10, I think? The Megaverse, the Metaverse or something?
Oh, the Negaverse. Yeah, everything's dark and gloomy because of the...
Right.
Because Alan Moore and Frank Miller. And but this is him basically... This is Grant Moore basically being Alan Moore and basically commenting on the state of comics.
We know that Grant Morrison worships the ground that Alan Moore walks on. We know that. So yeah, he's trying to be Alan Moore as much as Alan Moore he can be. So yeah, so he's gonna shit on superhero books also. But it was, I love this book. I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5. I thought it was awesome. Even the part that I thought was boring, like the story she was telling about the Vampire King. Even that shit was interesting. I was like, damn, she really hate this guy.
Yeah, I mean, I give it a 4.5 too because it would have got a 5, but just some shit got a little murky with Mongrel. That shit with Mongrel. Like,
yeah, that was kind of confusing. It was like, what is Mongrel doing?
Yeah.
I am
but other than that, this was like, this is cool. I'm digging this just because it's weird. Just because it is weird.
It's Grant Morrison. He's gonna mind fuck you.
Yeah.
All right. So next book I'm gonna review is Batman 84. I think it's 84. Let's go with 84. Let's just say it is. That's what it is. I know you've been hearing bad things about it, Eli. I didn't hate this book.
Okay.
I didn't hate it. Okay. Right. So basically what the book is, here's the thing. You have to read the issue backwards for it to make sense.
It's a manga.
Basically, you got to read it from left to right like that because the whole book is in a rewind flashback. Like it starts from the beginning, with like I said, like last issue was Bruce and Thomas getting ready to fight to the death with like that, and Thomas just punches Bruce in the face, just knocks his ass out. But then it starts going to these flashbacks of how Thomas got to the spot where he is now. So it goes in the flashback of he's been spying on Bruce the whole time. So when he proposed to Catwoman, he was there and he talked to Bane and he rescued Joker, and how the button issue where Reverse Flash pulled him from the other multiverse, whatever fuck like that, and then how Martha Joker shot Catwoman and how he raised Catwoman and how he killed all his bad guys and how he beat Joe Chill to a bloody pulp and how he's trying to rescue his son. He's praying to his son. It's an interesting book if you read it backwards. If you read it forward, it won't make any sense, but you got to read it backwards. Anyway, said all that to say this. We go to the end. Thomas beats the shit out of Bruce, and he's telling him, look, I'm doing this for a reason. I'm trying to kill everything Batman about you so you can give up this shit because it's not a point. Go marry the girl. Go raise your son. Leave this shit behind. Stay down, stay on your knees, and don't get back up. Don't fight me again. And the book ends with Batman just on his knees kind of deciding what he's going to do, the end, or to be continued. So, what a bad book. What a bad book. Not Tom King's best. And I do kind of feel like Tom King, okay, you know how you're getting ready, it's 4 o'clock, and it's 4 o'clock, and you get off at 4:30 or 4:15, and you about to ride the clock. I do kind of feel like Tom King is riding the clock because he's got like 2 or 3 issues left. So this does feel like he's kind of riding the clock, but I like the issue. It was easy breezy. Just read it backwards. That's all I'm gonna say. If it's a 3 out of 5 if you read it regular, but it's a 3.5 out of 5 if you read it backwards. That's all I'm saying.
So average as fuck.
Right. So yeah, that's what I got. You got any more books? Or?
What did I read? Oh, Vamperonica. That's
okay.
Right.
Let's see what we got.
Vamperonica. So this is Vamperonica, New Blood, #1, a new story arc, kind of continuing of the Vamperonica and Jughead crossover that we had, where Veronica gets sucked into an alternate parallel Riverdale universe and fights werewolves, and then by a satanic spell book, she gets sucked back into her regular universe. And we basically get a little bit more backstory about her family history. It turns out, Veronica comes from a long line of vampires, and her great grandpa was like the very first vampire to ever come to America. And meanwhile, there's another vampire in his gang are kind of going after her, and they want some sort of revenge. So they have a vendetta against her family. And he shows up at the end to confront her, and he just simply says, you will reap what you have sown. And that's just to be continued. Pretty cool. There was lots of recap there's like stuff that we already knew from the last story arc, which I think they could have just said like in an introduction, but we spent like 3 or 4 pages kind of rehashing what happened. I thought that got a little, lengthy, but other than that, it was still fun. It's like, these Archie horror comics are like a guilty pleasure of mine, and I think they're a lot of fun. So I give it a 4 out of 5.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay, next book I'm going to review is Deathstroke number 50. Now, the reason I'm reviewing this is actually the final issue of this Deathstroke run. Now, I do want to say this. Those first, 10 issues of this Deathstroke run, everybody go read those runs. Those books were fucking awesome.
Is that the one where Christopher Priest was writing?
Yes. Matter of fact, no, he wasn't writing those.
Oh.
The awesome ones were written by somebody else.
Oh.
This one's written by Priest.
The one where, Deathstroke, was it that when you said Deathstroke, might have knocked up, or, somebody's kid, or who? Or Damien might have been?
No, that's Priest. That's Priest.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but the beginning, that he was just a contract killer going around, and they gave him a contract to kill Superman, some shit like that. That shit was awesome, but that wasn't Priest, that was somebody else. But this is Priest writing this book, and this is the last issue of this Deathstroke run. What happens with this, we'll find out what goes from there. So the book starts off in the Dark Multiverse. So we have an evil Deathstroke. So we already know Deathstroke is a bad guy to end with. This is the bad version of Deathstroke. So the book opens up with Deathstroke killing Batman. And Damian standing over him. And Damian looking at Deathstroke like, you did it, father. You finally killed him. Looking at Deathstroke telling him, you finally killed Batman, father. You know, so either he...
So he is his dad.
In the dark multiverse. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and not only that, Wonder Woman is his wife. So
is Batman's wife?
No,
Or is that
Deathstroke's wife.
Deathstroke's wife.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, Batman's just dead on the ground, and then he looks in the room, and the Teen Titans show up, pop out of nowhere, and they're like, "You killed Batman, we're gonna take you out." So, Deathstroke just kills all the Teen Titans like it ain't shit. They just go just like that. And Nightwing is about to fight Deathstroke, but he gets shot in the head by Damian with a gun. You're like, I never liked your bitch ass anyway, you know. So he's dead. So there's only one Titan left, and it's Raven. And Raven's like, you know what? The Titans gave their lives a sacrifice so I can have time to make this spell to get you the fuck up out of here because you're too evil. I'm gonna send you somewhere else to get you out of here. So she sends Deathstroke to the regular DC universe. So he pops up, and apparently he's at war with our Deathstroke, the regular Deathstroke. So they fight and shit like that, and they realize we're not gonna get nowhere. We're too evenly matched. How about we just talk this shit out? So they go get IHOP. You know, they just sit down and just eat and shit like that. You know, Deathstroke takes off his mask. The other evil Deathstroke tells him, man, the evil Deathstroke looks old as shit. But the new Deathstroke, basically, he looks at him. He's just like, you look like you're 35. Yeah, so does Tom Cruise. I'm like, yeah. It's because our Deathstroke has a healing factor that makes him look younger than what he is. He really like in his 50s and 60s, but doesn't look like it. Meanwhile, the other guy looks like he's in his 50s and 60s. They're the same age, but one looks older than the other one. And he's like, well, what do you want? He was like, well, I can't go back to my universe because they locked me out, so I'm just going to just cause havoc here. He was like, well, I got a plan. How about we try to send you, you know, we find some kind of teleporter, send you back to your Earth. Okay, we'll do that. So they go to this evil scientist lab. They find this guy. They call their Raven, you know, the Raven of this universe. And they're like, send him back to his universe. And she's like, all right, could, but I don't want to. Like, why not? Because he's evil. If I send him back, he's going to kill a bunch of more people. So y'all have fun with him. And she just leaves. And so the other Deathstroke and Deathstroke like, well, what do we do now? Like, well, we're Deathstrokes. What do you think we're going to do? Fight to the death. Okay. So just go to the pit in the bottom and just fight to the death. They get some good shots in on each other, but eventually the old Deathstroke has a heart attack. Just dies. That's it.
Okay.
So, yeah. So that's the end of that fight. So now Deathstroke's is like, well, fuck it. There's nothing left for me to do. So the book ends with, it's Christmas Eve. So Wintergreen comes in. You know, Wintergreen is like his Alfred, his sidekick, whatever like that. So Wintergreen comes in. He sees Deathstroke, or Slade. He's Slade now, making a turkey, you know, for Christmas Eve. He's back with his ex-wife, his kids, you know, Rose and Jericho, you know, the big members of Teen Titans. They're sitting on the couch playing Xbox, you know. Jericho's cheating, whatever like that, but they're just playing the Xbox. Slade is sitting down on the couch, drinking a beer, watching the game, you know. Wintergreen and his ex-wife are talking about, well, I'm thinking about getting back, you know, with the Pentagon. I had a contract with them before. Now that Slade's retired, we need to get some income, stuff like that. And Slade is looking at his sword that, you know, he hung up on the mantle because he's like, I'm done with this Deathstroke shit. I'm done. So he's sitting there drinking a beer, watching the kid play the game, watching his wife have a conversation. And they're like, the turkey's ready. So he goes get the turkey. But on the way out, he takes his sword and leaves the door open. He dips. He's gone. They're like, fuck. And his fans is like, well, he lasts longer than we thought he would. So, and the page ends with Deathstroke on some kind of assassination mission, doing whatever the fuck. So, yeah, that's it. So,
all right.
Cool book. Like I said, I didn't know what the fuck happened earlier. It's cool. Deathstroke versus Deathstroke. Cool ending. Priest wasn't convoluted as he usually is, so I'm gonna give it about a 4 out of 5. Yeah.
All right.
Shoot. I guess back on me.
Oh, I got this. Kill Whitey Donovan.
Oh yeah. Go do that one. Yeah.
From Dark Horse. Kill Whitey Donovan, #1. This period revenge story taking place during the Civil War in the South. This woman named Annabelle. She's like this, or Anna. She's like a Southern belle, and she wants revenge on some dude named Whitey Donovan.
Okay.
And I guess this guy drove her sister to commit suicide. I guess. she teams up with this runaway slave woman named Hattie, and she agrees to help her because Hattie wants revenge on Whitey Donovan too. We don't know why. So they just go on the run in the South during the Civil War. Kind of on the run from the slave masters, and and that's basically the setup. That's all that happens. It ends with they're being chased, and Hattie gets shot. That's kind of where it ends. But there was there's some interesting stuff about the slavery and the racism of the time, and then there was they had this interesting conversation between Annabelle, the white woman, and this slave. Annabelle is crying about some shit, and Hattie's just like, okay, quit your crying shit, because we got a long way to go. What are you crying for? You got a world, you got a home to go back to. I'm a black slave in the South. Running, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So that just that classism and that perspective clashing, those two perspectives, kind of at odds with each other. I thought that was pretty interesting. You're a white woman in the South. You're fine. I'm a runaway slave. I'm dead, basically. And then she gets shot. She ends up getting shot, So basically, what are you bitching about? It was a kind of a funny conversation, but other than that, I mean, it's an interesting story. I'd like to see where this goes. Art is really well done, and I think I might be on board. I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
Okay, I started to pick it up. But the reason I didn't, because there was another book that I wanted to get. And here's the thing, Eli. Now, you and Comic Cast, I love y'all, but y'all get on my nerves sometimes. Okay. Because you're always going on about every Star Trek book that's always out, and they won't shit up about GoBots and G.I. Joe and all this shit like that. So y'all reviewing the shit that you like to do. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to do what I like to do sometimes. I like James Bond. James Bond got a new book. I'm going to review James Bond because I'm going to talk about James Bond. So,
all right.
James Bond books. Let's go with it. So this is James Bond #1 by Dynamite Comics. I don't know who did it. Fuck it. Doesn't matter.
I think it was them or Boom.
One of them. Boom, Dynamite, TNT, somebody did it.
IDW.
Somebody did it. So the book opens up exactly how you expect a James Bond book to open up. James Bond is banging somebody's wife. The dude kicks in the door, him and a bunch of goons. James Bond jumps out the window. They're chasing after him. He blows up something, throw him off there, and he gets away. Okay. That's it. 3 weeks later, we cut to something else completely entirely different. Apparently, we are at some kind of museum, and a painting has been stolen. So it's called the Rothko. The Rothko has been stolen. So this insurance fraud agent has came in named Brandy Keys. She's come in to investigate, and she's saying, yes, somebody stole this painting. There's some foul play going around here, but I don't know exactly what happened. They were like, well, you better find the painting because that's your job. When they leave, she has this associate named Reeves, and she asks Reeves, oh, now how would you pull this job off? He goes through this whole bunch of scenarios. She's like, nah, that wouldn't work. Nah, that wouldn't work. Nah, that wouldn't work. He was like, well, what if they took the painting out and swapped the painting out with somebody else and had a driver on the payroll? She's like, that might work. So they find out who was en route to deliver the painting to the museum, and they go to that trucking company. They get the name of the person who did it, and they go to his apartment. They find something ain't right here. It's a little bit too clean, but they find out where he hangs out every Thursday. They hang out at some kind of pool hall. So they go to the pool hall. They find the guy. His name, I think, Thomas Patel or something like that. I may be fucking his name up, but whatever. They find Thomas Patel. They start asking questions, and he's like, "Who sent you? Who sent you?" And Thomas Patel just pulls a gun out, And they're like, "Whoa, calm down." Now notice all this talking I'm doing. Who have I not talked about? James Bond. Yeah. He hasn't shown up at once. So anyway, Thomas Patel pulls a gun out on Brandy.
He's out there fucking somebody.
Probably so. Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to be in this book, And so he pulls a gun out on Brandy Keys, and Brandy's like, whoa, wait a minute. I just want to have a conversation. And plus, you're not a killer. I've seen killers before. You're not a killer. And then some dude in the background just voices, yeah, you're not a killer. And then all of a sudden he gets a pool stick, wraps him across the head, takes the gun, unarms him, and things like that. The reason you're not a killer? Because killers are faster. And, of course, it's James Bond. The book ends. So James Bond was in this book for the whole thing. So James Bond was in this book for 3 fucking pages. I bought this book and he was in the book for 3 fucking pages. It's about a chick named Brandy Keys. I didn't want to read a book about fucking Brandy Keys. I want to read a book about James Bond banging chicks, shooting people, jumping over beds, and you know, getting in death traps. None of that shit was in this book. It's a fucking.
I thought he got laid. He was getting laid in the book, right?
Yeah, like in one panel. Then some goons busted in the door and you know, interrupted a mid-stroke. You should have shot them for that reason.
Yeah, boner killer.
Right. So James Bond is in his book for like 3 pages. I don't know to be pissed. And it's a fucking painting heist, a museum heist, which double O's don't do. They do world domination. They do terrorist threats. They do weapons deal, drug deal, shit like that. They don't do museum heists.
What if that painting is like a map to some secret lair, Nazi lair with some weird weapon?
Don't do that. Don't do that. I know what you're doing. You're trying to get me interested in in issue 2 to see where this shit goes. You know, like I don't know yet. I'm undecided.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, when you said a painting is stolen, like, what is this, the Pink Panther?
That's what it felt like. Like that's not James Bond.
Yeah.
Like get Inspector Clouseau to do this shit, you know. So overall, actually, once I got to read it twice. The first time I read it, I was fucking pissed. I did feel like I got bait and switched. I'm like, you're ripping me off for this. But I reread again.
Who does he look like? I'm looking at the picture. Who?
Just random white dude number, like a character select screen you make on any random video game. Doesn't look like Bond.
Like he doesn't look like any of the He doesn't look like Daniel Craig.
Well, that's the thing. They might not have the rights to him. Because a lot of times when they make these video games and they make these characters, like they don't have the likeness to the actual actors. Like if you play the original GoldenEye on N64, it's just a random dude. You know, it doesn't look like Pierce Brosnan. So they probably did the same way here. Yeah.
Doesn't look like Roger Moore or Sean Connery.
Right.
Who's that, Lazenby or whatever?
Right. Like make him Lazenby. Nobody cares. You know? So yeah, but he just looked like just random white dude. So it's just like he's just Bond. So whatever. Eli, I don't know, Eli. I felt like I got
right when you give an indie book a chance.
I get an indie book, and this is what I get: Brandy Keys in the museum heist. Fuck, I'm going back.
You didn't like this book, but you liked the Batman book.
I mean, because at least the Batman gave me, I can read it backwards. This read it forward, backwards, whatever the fuck. James Bond doesn't show up in the book. Oh man, all he does is bang a chick and beat a dude with a pool stick, and it's 2 panels. That's it. Fuck man, I'm going back to Superman. Oh shit. Oh, anything else we got?
I'm booked out.
I'm booked out myself.
I read my 3 books, right? I did 3 books. Yeah, that's all I read.
I did 4 because you did one of mine, so that's cool. All right. Let me say, if you listen this long, definitely like, share, and subscribe. Definitely listen to our other podcasts. We have our sister podcast, Geek Sav. Like I said, this is the PG-13 version of Eli. You want to hear the NC-17 version of Eli? That's where you want to go. The triple X. That's it.
Let my balls hang loose on that.
Exactly. He's naked on every single
Anthony's
episode.
Worse. Shit, Anthony's worse.
You guys I don't know about what and what, you know.
You should hear Anthony when we're not recording.
Okay, maybe that's what it is. Like, whoa, we can't say that.
Yeah.
I can see it now. The views of Geek Savs. I forgot where I was going with that. But anyway, we have Comic Cast. We have This Geeks and Comics. They dropped a new one, so definitely listen to that. We have which one is the Transformers one?
Instruments of Destruction.
That one, yeah, the one G.I. Joe and everything like that. Get Valiant, like I said, they had the creator or the money maker of Valiant, whatever like that, a couple weeks ago. Definitely listen to that. The CEO, ex-CEO, whatever. Hoodoo TV, are they still a thing? I keep saying them, but I haven't heard anything from them.
There's like a couple new ones on there, like a Geekend update or some shit.
Fuck, maybe we need to start promoting
I saw something popped up. Something popped up on the feed. I was like,
yeah, we need
I
to start promoting that. Yeah, let's promote that.
Outright Geekery, yo.
It's a bunch of them.
One-stop shop.
Yeah, anything you want, we got it.
Get out.
Come on, do the theme song like you do on Geek Sab. You always got a special theme song.
I just got just random shit like
I guess. I think I named and the wrestling one. Not
Wrestling
another
Council?
wrestling podcast. I know it's not that, but that's what it should be.
and Talking Balls.
And Talking Balls, yeah, the football one. Yeah, next week we're coming with some more stuff, maybe some more Crisis episodes. We'll see where we go. And the finale of Watchmen. We're not gonna talk about Watchmen this time. We'll talk about it next week.
Man.
We'll talk about it next week. We're gonna
Last
get
night's
into it.
episode. Woo.
We're gonna get into it. Yeah. So until then, this is Leroy,
This is Eli.
and we'll talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel.
Diamonds are forever. They are all I need to please me. They can stimulate and tease me. They won't leave in the night. I've no fear that they might desert me. Diamonds are forever.
Throw your diamonds in the sky if you feel the vibe. The rock is still alive every time I rhyme. Forever, ever, forever, ever, 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 ever. Good morning, this ain't Vietnam still. People lose hands, legs, arms for real. Little was known of Sierra Leone and how it connect to the diamonds we own. When I speak of diamonds in this song, I ain't talking about the ones that be glown. I'm talking about Rockefeller, my home, my chain. These ain't conflict diamonds, is they, Jacob? Don't lie to me, man. See a part of me saying, keep shining. How? When I know what a blood diamonds. Though it's thousands of miles away, Sierra Leone connect to what we go through today. Over here, it's the drug trade. We die from drugs. Over there, they die from what we buy from drugs. The diamonds, the chains, the bracelets, the charms is. I thought my Jesus piece was so harmless. Till I seen a picture of a shorty armless. And here's the conflict. It's in the black person's soul to rock that gold. Spend your whole life trying to get that ice. On a polar rugby, it looks so nice. How could something so wrong make me feel so right? Before I beat myself up like Ike, you can still throw your Rockefeller diamond tonight. Because throw your diamonds in the sky if you feel the vibe. The rock is still alive every time I rhyme. Forever, ever, forever, ever, 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 ever. People asking me is I'm gonna give my chain back. That'll be the same day I give the game back. You know the next question, dawg, yo, where Dame at? This track the Indian dance to bring our rain back. What's up with you and Jay, man? Are y'all okay, man?
Yep, I got it from here, yay, damn. The chain remains, the gang is intact. The name is mine, I'll take blame for that. The pressure's on, but guess who ain't gonna crack? Pardon me, I had to laugh at that. How could you falter when you the rock at Gibraltar? I had to get off the boat so I could walk on water. This ain't no tall order, this is nothing to me. Difficult takes a day, impossible takes a week. I do this in my sleep. I sell kilos of coke. I'm guessing I could sell CDs. I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. Let me handle my business, damn. Kanye's, you got me. Free Wade and Foxy. YG's, Thierry Marie. Petey, watch me. Bleak could be one hit away his whole career. As long as I'm alive, he's a millionaire. And even if I die, in my will somewhere. So he could just kick back and chill somewhere. Oh yeah. He don't even have to write rhymes. A dynasty like my money lasts 3 lifetimes. Shelly Bass is in the red saying exactly what I was saying. Practically my whole career. The diamond is fab. I've been mining this forever. Now the Louis Vuitton Don's time, it couldn't be better. People lined up to see the Titanic sinking. Instead we rose from the ash like a phoenix. If you're waiting for the end, a dynasty sign, it would seem like forever. It's a mighty long time.